Welcome to DowerChin.com. All right, today we're going to take a look at a case for the Samsung Galaxy Note Pro 12.2, and this case is from Poetic. This is the Poetic Slimbook for the Galaxy Note Pro 12.2. You don't have a whole lot of options available for cases for that large tablet, but it's nice to see that there are some interesting options available. So let's take a look at what this guy's got. Take a look at it. Okay, so this is a nice leather bound kind of portfolio book type case. You can see that basically it's got a strap over here, as well as, let's open it up real quick. We can see that it's got some pockets. We've got a pocket here for maybe business cards or something, a pocket for an SD card possibly, and it's got the strap back here now. And then this is the where the device goes. So let's take a look at what you can do with it. Well, here's a clasp back here. It's also got a part here where you can put your pen. Ultimately, it folds over, and basically this part slips underneath, and you have a spot where you can have the case at an angle if it was a little heavier. Because I don't have the tablet in here just yet, but which is really kind of nice. So what else can we see about it? Well, it's got openings for the different ports and the camera, and nice little edge here so you can easily get the S Pen out. So what I'm going to do is just take, it's fine and all to look at the case by itself, but I'm going to take a look at it with the tablet inside. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I've been playing around with this Poetic Slimbook case for a couple of days now, and so we can take a look and see what I think of it. All right, so once again, looking at this, I got the felt material in the inside, which is very nice. It's a leather material with nicely done sewing around the edges. Build quality is quite good. And let's take a look at putting my Note Pro in here. So I've got a little Velcro thing here, which basically opens this area up. So it's a case that encompasses the entire tablet, as opposed to some of the ones that have plastic tabs where it locks in. This actually covers the whole thing. So easily slips in like so, and basically, yeah, let me turn that off. Slip this underneath, and the Velcro keeps it in place. So as you can see from this angle here, that there is a space here for that doesn't cover up the cameras. And there's an open area here where you have free access to your various buttons on the front. If we close this guy, it has a magnetic latch so that it doesn't flop, which is real nice. So closes it, and it does support the on-off option of basically turning the tablet on and off with the open and closing of the flap. So taking a look around, does not block the microphone port with the speakers. Doesn't block the speakers, and clearance for the headphone jack. It's got enough clearance for the the power button, volume rockers. Bit of a, see, gotta move this over a little bit. There we go. So gotta play with it a little bit to get things right in the right alignment sometimes. But it's got room for right here. Doesn't block the microphone. IR port is easily visible. It's got a nice little cutout over here for the S Pen, so you can easily pull it out of there. It's got clearance here for the speaker, the USB 3 port, easy access to the SD card slot, micro SD card slot over there, so it keeps it all nice and tidy. The only funny thing I found was that the alignment for the camera is a little off, because obviously it's not centered on. It's a little off, but it does not block the camera, which is good. So what else we can say about this thing? Well, this case basically can easily flip over. It's got the little latch back here to basically keep the device, keep this little flap tucked in here. So it's got this little area here where it kind of bends a bit. I'll explain that in a minute. But basically what it allows you to do is then say, slip this under. I found that it doesn't really stay very well, but it's okay. It does it keeps it in. It keeps it from falling when it's back here, but it can come out rather easily. But so you can see from here, I can keep it at this angle, and it works quite nicely. So it keeps it all here, so I can easily just leave it alone. So I can basically watch my movies on here and works really quite nice. Flip it over this way, I can easily have this basically lying this way. So if I'm using something like, like Sketchbook, for example, it's in a nice angle for me to basically draw with. So you can see that it does a fine job of keeping the device at a pretty good. It's not too low, and it's still pretty comfortable. So if if you wanted to watch movies this way, you can do the same thing, or it's great for if you're going to basically do some drawing. So I can pull this pen out of here, and basically I can just start sketching away over here like so, which is really kind of nice. The now let's see. So those are the basics of any case that you get for this device. Now, what can we say? What else can we say about it? Well, other things you can do with it. Now, there's this little strap over here, and you might be wondering what the hell's the strap for. Well, what you can do, this is an interesting mode for this guy, is you can slip it like this, and have this overlap like so, and the strap can come across and kind of straddle the top of your device and get positioned a little bit. But then basically with this flat, is then you can actually have it so that your hand can slip into this spot right here, and you can have it so you can basically carry it around with you. Well, let me pressing buttons, but basically you can have it so that you can, well, if you're not fumbling around with it like I am, but if you're just kind of carrying it around and this strap kind of out of the way, if you're right-handed, because I guess you can do left. You can do left-handed too. Yep. So if you're doing left-handed, and I can find where my pen is, right here. The strap kind of keeps the cover on top of it, and then basically with it, you can basically hold it like so. And if you're wandering around with the tablet for whatever reason, and you want to be able to still use it securely without having to grip it all the time, you can basically have the strap kind of hold on to, and you keep your fingers kind of free, so you can take notes and draw over here, which is quite handy. It's actually kind of a very nice feature to have on this case. So and then these are basically this is also rubber, or it's also leather. Nice strap over here. It feels pretty secure, so it's quite nice. So then basically it gives you more options than just a standard cover. Now the only thing is that the implementation with the strap maybe not all that great, but it works. It does keep it in. So now, okay, obviously another question that always kind of pops up in my head is whether or not the magnets, because there are magnets that obviously help keep this thing closed, and when you put it over this way, do the magnets interfere with the Wacom or the S Pen? That's always a concern, because I've had plenty of cases where magnets wreak havoc with the S Pen. And the way to really test is obviously if I start drawing up here, if things go astray, and they apparently do not. So the magnets are far off enough that they don't seem to affect the performance at all. So let me clear this junk out, and we need new drawing, and use a standard pencil tool. So if I draw a line from this side to this side, it works just fine. So besides my shaky hands on here, there's no distortion from the magnets that I can see. So nothing interferes. So that's kind of a nice thing to know, because like I said, there have been instances where there are cases that have magnets for various reasons, for closing this and closing that wreak havoc on your device, and this does not. So this works really quite well. Heft wise, doesn't add a whole lot of heft. I mean, it's a big tablet anyway, so being a 12.2-inch tablet adds a little bit of thickness, because these are relatively, it's good thick material back here. So in general, it doesn't really, is not really very much of a problem. It's got a little spot here if you wanted to actually if you wanted to like keep your pen out, stick it over here, you can do so. I'm usually kind of paranoid because I'll lose it. So I usually like to keep it over here, but that's an option if you really wanted to kind of have it that way. So there you have it. A look at the Poetic Slimbook case for the Samsung Galaxy Note Pro. And if you have any suggestions for anything or questions about this or anything that you want me to look at, please feel free to send me a message, leave a comment, and subscribe.